Today we're diving deep into a topic that's often avoided. Which cities in the United States may have reached a point of no return when it comes to bouncing back? We all have a special connection to our hometowns or places where we have roots. But let's be honest, every city, state, and town experiences its share of ups and downs. Sometimes those downturns seem to stretch on indefinitely, leaving us wondering if things will ever improve. It's akin to gazing at a perpetual fixer-upper, questioning whether it's even worth the effort anymore. In this video, we're shedding light on 10 cities that have been mired in a rut for so long that envisioning a brighter future feels like a daunting task. Ready to delve into this challenging but important discussion? Let's dive right in. Number 10. Cities not on the list. Now, before we dive into our list, let's address the elephant in the room: San Francisco and Chicago. These cities are undeniably facing significant challenges right now. We've all heard the stories and seen the videos. However, despite their current struggles, we believe they have the potential, and perhaps the necessity, to bounce back. It all boils down to one word: money. San Francisco and Chicago are crucial players in the U.S. economy, and that alone gives them a strong foundation to rebuild upon. While they undoubtedly have their share of issues, we reckon they've already hit rock bottom and are poised for improvement. Los Angeles and Houston could also be considered in this conversation, though Los Angeles is showing promising signs of recovery, and we believe Houston is on the cusp of initiating its own comeback. Number 9. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is grappling with a host of challenges, and like many cities, its decline is a tangled web of historical, economic, and social factors. While it's difficult to pinpoint a single moment as the root cause, one pivotal event stands out: the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968 at the Lorraine Motel. This tragedy rocked the city to its core, sparking civil unrest and prompting many to flee to the suburbs. The exodus of businesses that followed dealt a severe blow to Memphis's economy, with many never returning. The subsequent years witnessed a decline in manufacturing industries, a key source of employment, leading to a rise in poverty and dwindling economic opportunities. Memphis bears the scars of this event, struggling to fully recover ever since. It's fallen into a pattern seen in many struggling cities. Poor education outcomes fuel poverty, which in turn drives crime. This vicious cycle perpetuates itself, with a lack of educational resources deterring companies from investing in the city, further limiting opportunities for residents. Currently, Memphis grapples with a reputation as one of the most violent cities in the nation, a designation it's held for years. It's a heartbreaking situation, particularly considering Memphis's significant contributions to American and music history. Number 8. Gary, Indiana. Gary's downfall traces back to a combination of factors that began eroding its prosperity in the mid-20th century. A pivotal blow came with the decline of the steel industry, which had long been the lifeblood of Gary's economy since its inception in the early 1900s. As foreign competition and automation took their toll on the steel industry, numerous mills in the region, including those in Gary, closed their doors. A devastating wave of job losses sent the city's economy spiraling downward. Despite the passage of over 70 years, Gary has yet to recover from this decline, remaining a shadow of its former self. Adding to the city's woes is its proximity to the troubled south side of Chicago, exacerbating the challenges faced by Gary. Take a drive through Gary, or simply browse Google Maps, and you'll see the stark reality: abandoned homes and vacant lots dotting nearly every block. You could snag a house in Gary for the price of a Toyota Prius. While it may not be everyone's cup of tea, the option is there amidst the urban decay. Number 7. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Pine Bluff, Arkansas paints a grim picture where safety and joy seem scarce. Once a thriving hub, Pine Bluff's economic and social fortunes took a nosedive in the latter half of the 20th century. Initially buoyed by its strategic position along the Arkansas River, which facilitated trade and commerce, the city's decline stemmed from various factors. The mechanization of agriculture dealt a severe blow to Pine Bluff's economy, resulting in widespread job losses, particularly in the once dominant cotton industry. This surge in unemployment and poverty set the stage for an unfortunate increase in crime. Population decline became a recurring theme starting in the 1980s, with a brief uptick noted in the 1990 census, only to resume its downward trajectory in subsequent decades. The grim reality facing residents is evident. If you're not leaving voluntarily, circumstances might force your hand. To anyone residing in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, the harsh advice is to leave possessions behind, rise early, and depart by dawn. Packing belongings, even something as mundane as a George Foreman grill, isn't worth risking your safety in this city. Number 6. Port Arthur, Texas. Port Arthur, once a bustling industrial hub nestled along the Gulf of Mexico, witnessed a downturn in the latter part of the 20th century. Its prosperity had long been intertwined with the oil industry, hosting major refineries like Gulf Oil and Texaco. However, a combination of factors contributed to Port Arthur's economic decline. The oil industry's inherent volatility, marked by fluctuating prices, took its toll on the local job market, creating uncertainty for residents. Moreover, concerns over environmental pollution stemming from refinery operations impacted public health and prompted some to seek refuge elsewhere. Racial tensions and segregation further compounded the city's challenges, exacerbating existing inequalities. As educational and economic opportunities waned, Port Arthur found itself grappling with systemic breakdowns that hindered progress. Despite the silver lining of affordable real estate, akin to the cost of bail for a clown-punching incident at a carnival, the city's struggles persist. While attempts have been made to address economic issues, the decline of its industrial base has left a lasting mark on Port Arthur's economic and social landscape, necessitating ongoing revitalization efforts. However, the road ahead is daunting, and the prospect of a resurgence remains uncertain. Number 5. Camden, New Jersey. Just across the Delaware River from Philadelphia lies Camden, New Jersey, a city plagued by long-standing issues. Connected by iconic bridges like the Walt Whitman and Benjamin Franklin bridges, Camden's reality stands in stark contrast to the dreamy scenes of Bridge Over the River Kwai. Instead, it's a nightmare, a reality residents have endured for decades. With a violent crime rate soaring 325 points above the national average, equating to nearly 1/600 incidents per 100,000 residents, Camden's troubles are glaring. The city's decline traces back to the mid-20th century, characterized by a myriad of socioeconomic and urban challenges. Like many industrial hubs in the U.S., Camden witnessed a gradual shift away from manufacturing, a sector that once formed the backbone of its economy. When manufacturing dwindles, so does shipping, compounding the city's woes. For scholars studying urban decline, Camden serves as a sobering case study. Its trajectory encapsulates the complexities and challenges faced by cities grappling with industrial decline and urban blight. Number 4. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi often earns the unfortunate title of the worst capital city in the United States, a dubious distinction, especially considering Baton Rouge is also a capital city. The city's decline traces back to the mid-20th century, a period marked by a confluence of intricate social, economic, and political factors. Following World War II, Jackson's landscape underwent a transformation as suburbanization took root. Like many urban centers, Jackson experienced an exodus of residents to the suburbs, accompanied by the departure of businesses and middle-class families. This phenomenon was fueled by the expansion of highways, facilitating easier commutes from suburban areas to the city. The population shift dealt a severe blow to Jackson's tax base and infrastructure, hastening its decline. Despite ongoing revitalization efforts, the city continues to grapple with these entrenched challenges. Unfortunately, the prognosis remains bleak, with little hope for significant improvement on the horizon. Number 3. Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan's struggles came to a head around a decade ago, thrust into the national spotlight due to a grave error: the decision to switch the city's water source to the Flint River without adequate corrosion control measures. This catastrophic misstep led to widespread lead contamination in the drinking water, sparking a public health crisis that shattered trust in the local government. A deluge of lawsuits, paranoia, and conspiracy theories further exacerbate the city's woes. However, Flint's decline is traced back to a complex interplay of factors. Once a thriving hub for the automotive industry, boasting giants like General Motors, Flint's fortunes took a nosedive with the decline of American automotive manufacturing. The outsourcing of jobs to cheaper labor markets in the 1970s and 80s dealt a devastating blow, resulting in massive layoffs and the closure of manufacturing plants that never reopened. While remnants of the automotive industry remain in the Michigan area, Flint's heyday is a distant memory, with little respite from its ongoing struggles in sight. The injustice of the situation is palpable, with residents enduring contaminated water and a slew of legal battles, a tragic testament to the city's enduring hardships. Number 2. East St. Louis. Once a bustling industrial powerhouse situated just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis, Missouri, East St. Louis boasted strategic transportation links, including railroads and river access, which attracted industries and a diverse workforce. However, the city's decline began to set in before the 1940s, as mechanization reshaped industries and replaced human labor with automation. The rise of robotics and mechanized processes led to significant job losses, undermining the economic vitality of East St. Louis. Political corruption and financial mismanagement further compounded the city's woes, hampering its ability to deliver essential services and maintain infrastructure. High crime rates, widespread unemployment, and a struggling school system entrenched a cycle of poverty that persisted for decades and continues to afflict the community. East St. Louis serves as a poignant example of the challenges faced by cities grappling with systemic issues. The magnitude of its problems suggests that the task of revitalization may be daunting and require substantial effort. All right, it's time for the big reveal. But before we dive into the top spot, if you've got a moment to spare and want to show some support for this channel, consider checking out one of the suggested videos that pops up at the end of this one. Every view counts and goes a long way in helping the channel grow. Now, without further ado, let's unveil our number 1 pick. Number 1. Detroit, Michigan. It's no secret to anyone who's been paying attention that Detroit, Michigan has been struggling for quite some time. The cityscape is dominated by burnt-out husks of buildings and vast stretches of empty lots, a stark reminder of its decline. The proliferation of abandoned properties reached such alarming levels that the city resorted to clearing them out to address health and safety concerns. Detroit's population tells a sobering tale. In the post-World War II era, the city reached its peak with 1.8 million residents recorded in the 1950 census. Fast forward to today, and that number has dwindled to around 620,000, a sharp decline witnessed in every decade since 1950. Projections indicate that this downward trend will continue, with Detroit expected to dip below 600,000 residents by the 2030 census. With a shrinking tax base and an exodus of residents, Detroit faces a daunting financial challenge. Local tax revenues simply aren't sufficient to cover the city's infrastructure needs, leaving it reliant on federal assistance for funding. And that wraps up today's video. Hope you all found it informative and engaging. Don't forget to show your support by giving the video a thumbs up and leaving a comment. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic day.